Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to beautiful Los Angeles City College. I'm really excited about this event, our first in a partnership between the Council at CSU for Emergency Management and Homeland Security and the Disaster Resistant California Community Colleges Project. My name is Peter Wright. I am the director for the Disaster Resistant California Community College. This project, I am based in Sacramento at the Chancellor's Office, and it's so good to have met many of you already, and I look forward to meeting you afterwards when we go over to the Faculty and Staff Center for the vendor exhibit and a light lunch. But it is so exciting to see you here today, and it really makes me think that we are nearing the tipping point in this culture of preparedness that we are seeking. I borrow that term, tipping point, and add it to culture of preparedness from Malcolm Gladwell, who is the brilliant best-selling author. He says that ideas and products and behaviors all spread like infectious diseases. Now, pandemic flu will be our next workshop to come later this year, so please come to that, but I'll return to Gladwell. He says that there's three types of people that make this happen. There's connectors, there's mavens, and there are salespeople. Now, I see you as the connectors. You are here because you love sharing your knowledge about emergency preparedness, learning new things, and telling others about it to help them prepare their colleges and universities to be better prepared for the inevitable disasters that we all face. We have mavens, this wonderful panel here on stage with me. Maven is a Yiddish term. It means an expert who loves to share knowledge. And it's great to have this distinguished panel that we'll introduce here in a minute. And the third is salespeople. Salespeople we have today over our vendor exhibit, some expert top vendors in our state. And from my conversations with them, I've realized that their success lies not only in their ability to sell, but because they believe so strongly in their products and they want to be a part of better preparing Californians and higher education specifically. So bringing all these people together today, connectors, mavens, and salespeople, makes me so excited because I think that we are soon going to reach that tipping point when all California community colleges, all California state universities are as disaster resistant as possible. So thank you very much for being here. I'm going to now introduce Dr. Keith Clement. He is a faculty member at the Cal State University Fresno, and he is the chair of the Council for Emergency Management and Homeland Security throughout the CSU system. So I will turn it over to him, and he will introduce our very distinguished panel. Thank you very much for being here.
Well, good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Clement. I am the planning director for the CSU Council for Emergency Management and Homeland Security, or CEMAS. We are an organization who is dedicated towards the development of education and training programs throughout the state of California. We are very pleased to be here at LA City College today. We are very happy for Peter Wright's leadership in bringing all of us together through the DRCC. And it is very important for us that we help link the first response community with the education and the academic communities as well to form university and agency partnerships. One focus that brings us here today is the sharing of this joint interests that we have, both in terms of the university and college campus, as well as the building of a culture of preparedness and awareness on our campuses that must be developed in partnership with the local agencies, the local public organizations, the private sector, and lots of other actors. And so one of the focuses for us to talk about today is on emergency notification systems, and it is a vital component to safe campuses. As we all know, safe campuses are what is necessary to foster the learning environment that we need to grow and develop. So what I would like to do is introduce the very esteemed panelists that we have today. They represent a variety of interests. They represent a remarkable series of careers that have shown tremendous dedication to this very important issue. So first I'd like to introduce Art Bottrell. Art Bottrell, I have heard, is considered the godfather, if that's correct, of emergency communications and notifications. And he is the Community Warning Systems Manager for the Contra Costa Sheriff's Office. So he's going to share some gems and wisdom related to these issues. I would also like to introduce Marissa Mierzwa, and she is from the County of San Diego. She is their Emergency Services Coordinator for San Diego OES. To her right is Dave Furman, who is the Associate Vice Chancellor over at the Ventura Community College District. Very happy to have those three panelists. And last but not least, at the end of the table is Jay Allen. And Jay is the Communications Director for the new CalEMA, California Emergency Management Agency. And we are extremely pleased to welcome all of these esteemed folks here today. And we are also very pleased that we are beginning to foster and build relationships with this new CalEMA group, who is the new agency resulting from the merger of the former OES and OHS groups here in California. So without too much more ado, I would like to introduce Art Bottrell. How are you?
First off, good morning. I want to thank the community colleges for the opportunity to participate in this very important conversation that's going on. I do not work for a community college. I work for the sheriff's office of a large urban and suburban county up in the San Francisco Bay Area. But I'm one of the relatively few people, I think, in California, certainly, who actually has a job that's solely devoted to public warning issues. And one of the implications of that is that I work very closely with the Contra Costa Community Warning, or Community Colleges system, who are currently putting in some sirens and integrating that with a number of the resources that the county has, and I'll return to that theme. You'll have to forgive me also, this is one of these deals where I had to send in my slides ahead of time, so I've already forgotten what they say, but if you'll allow me to review. Lessons from social science, yes. There are a lot of questions that are raised by public warning systems or campus notification systems having to do with best practices and procedures. And what I find a lot of folks who are faced with these decisions don't know is that there is a large body of social science research that you can turn to inform some of these decisions. These issues have been studied rather intensively, well, certainly ever since the Second World War. And we know a fair bit, actually, about how audiences process this sort of information. So one of the first things that I would encourage you to do is look at the body of research and be mindful of what's out there before making design choices. I'll just point out two of what I think are the most significant findings from my perspective. There are a number of them, but two that I think are particularly important. One is, and this is one of these things that's thunderously obvious once it's proved by rigorous science, no single warning technology can be fully effective by itself. Now, there are some relatively obvious technical arguments in support of that. You know, every system has some way in which it can fail. No system reaches everybody. But more importantly, there is a psychological fact. You know, when we are warning people, we are swimming upstream against what the social scientists call the normalcy bias, and the rest of us just, I think, call denial. And it turns out that people hardly ever act on a single warning